Mississippi House of Representatives is now in session. Please let the House come to order. Please stand as we're led in prayer today by a guest to be introduced by the gentleman from Itawamba. Remain standing thereafter for the pledge.
Good morning. I have a friend with me today. He was my pastor for 20-something years, and he's head of the Moral Action Committee for the Baptist Missionary Association of America, and we're just glad to have him here to pray for us. His name is John Adams. Dr. John.
May we pray. Our Father, in the quietness of this room, we are mindful that you are God the Father and that your Son, Jesus Christ, is the Savior of those that will accept him. I thank you, Father, for this people of Mississippi. We love this state, Father. We want the very best. I know, dear God, that much is on these men and women's mind today. I pray that you will guide them in their thought, in their legislation, and in their love for one another. Father, bless. I see all of the young people. I ask, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that you will bless them as citizens of this great state. Thank you for this time. In the name of Christ, I pray. Amen and amen.
Join me in the pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's get a picture before you. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Close the machine, Madam Clerk.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll have the reading of the journal. The gentleman from Rankin moves we dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Report of select committees.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Report of standing committees.
We have reports on the calendar, Mr. Speaker.
Introductions of bills and constitutional amendments. Gentleman from Marion, Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with the reading of the introductions.
Is there objection? Hearing none, we will do that. Resolution, petitions, memorials, and other papers.
We have none, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. This time we'll have introductions of guests and visitors. Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Stamps. Passes. Gentleman from Clark, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the South Gallery today, I have a young lady with me. Her name is Emily McNeil from Enterprise, Mississippi, God's country. She just competed in the largest rodeo in the state of Texas. There's 286 competitors in it, in the barrels and the poles. This young lady finished second and was in the run for the $100,000 shootout, which she won the pole event, which guaranteed her $50,000. She was 2/10 of a second from winning the overall $100,000. Her dad's with her and her sister, which trained a horse. Haley McNeil and Chris McNeil. Will y'all please make them welcome?
Gentleman from Monroe, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. I'd like you in the House to help me welcome some of Mississippi's finest and Teen Packed in the North Gallery. You'll see them around the Capitol. They'll be praying for us as they go through it, and it's the second class for the year, and it's a big class, so give them a big welcome.
Gentleman from Pontotoc, Dr. Huddleston.
Introductions, Mr. Speaker. Introduction.
Yes, sir.
I want to introduce you to some of my children, and I want to, in the process, thank my children. Amber Claire, stand up. Swayze, Tara, Megan, and then the children, Deacon and Stella, and got to be another one somewhere. What I want to do is make sure that these children get recognized. They spent some of their last 2 years keeping the daddy running and trying to get my feet and get me back up on my feet. And thank y'all for loving me and taking care of me, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Your father and grandfather is one of the greatest men to ever serve in this chamber, and he means a lot to all of us. We appreciate y'all, what y'all do for him. He's a fine man. Thank y'all. All right, I don't see any further introductions at this time. I'm going to recognize our head page, Hunter Lofton, to come forward and introduce our pages for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a few, so we'd ask that you give us your attention. I'm going to ask the pages to please stand. And as your name is called, raise your hand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This week we have McLeod Andrews from Purvis, Sadie Beasley from Terry, Trinity Bester from Preston, Marcus Blunt from Madison, Ava Bondurant from Madison, Lamaya Bounds from Charleston, Jordan Brock from Caledonia, Elizabeth Bryant from Porterville, Riley Horton Caraway from Brandon, Macy Caraway from Clinton, Caroline Klein from Ridgeland, Isabella Klein from Ridgeland, Waylon Cuevas from Kill, Mackenzie Lee Cummins from Jackson, Anaya Duncan from Greenville, Brian Dye from Olive Branch, Sophia Helfinger from Madison, Kendall Hines from Vicksburg, Jacob Kelly from Ocean Springs, Boladare Kerr from Macomb, John Little from Olive Branch, Roman Luckett from Starkville, Alina Mitchell from Ocean Springs, Brady Morris from Perkiston, Justin Raymond from Kosciuszko, Austin Ratliff from Byram, Emma Scruggs from Ocean Springs, Chandler C. from Madison, Lily Shannon from Pontotoc, Kaylin Simmons from Brandon, Mary Stewart from Madison, Addison Tatum from Madison, Celeste Tatum from Madison, and Lauren Tatum from Madison, Seth Tubb from Hattiesburg, Kimball Walker from Madison, Cameron Weaver from Gulfport, Warren Williams from Ocean Springs, Jackson Woods from Bahalia, and Maya Worsley from Madison.
Thank you, Pages. We appreciate your service to us this week. All right, we have a special guest to be recognized this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to ask you each to find your seats so that we can honor our special guest. I want to recognize the lady from Forest, Miss McGee, to come forward. And I'm going to ask Sergeant Arms to escort our special guest to the podium.
ladies and gentlemen of the House. I'm very happy to come before you today in honor of my friend, my constituent, fellow University of Southern Mississippi alum, and the current Southern District Transportation Commissioner, the Honorable Thomas Edward Tom King, Jr. On February 6th, this body adopted H.R. 38, commending the 31 years of public service of Commissioner Tom King. Commissioner King has served as a member of the Mississippi House of Representatives and the Mississippi Senate, and most recently for the past 12 years as the Southern District Transportation Commissioner. I also want to tell you that before his service to our state, he served his country in the United States Air Force during the Vietnam War. And so I believe we would all agree that Commissioner Tom King has earned a very well-deserved retirement at the end of this year. I'd also like to recognize his lovely wife, Susan, who has always been by his side all these years, and his sons and my friends, Clay and Chad's wife, Rebecca, along with their children who are with us today. Commissioner King, congratulations on your upcoming retirement. Thank you for your many years of service to our state and to our country. We are the better because of you. Would y'all all help me congratulate Commissioner Tom King on his retirement?
Kind of overwhelmed. Thank you. Thank you, Missy. It's certainly an honor to be here, an honor to accept this. It's just very surprising, and I thank you all. I appreciate your service and what you've done for transportation. Mr. Speaker, Missy, ladies and gentlemen of the House, thank you for this honor. I'm going to enjoy retirement at the end of this year. God bless you all. We appreciate your service and what you do. You really don't know a lot about this job in the House unless you come and serve and do the job. And you find out what kind of job it is, that it's 24/7 and that it's year-round, not a part-time job. But thank you all for what you do for us, and you're greatly appreciated. And thank you for this honor that you've given me. Appreciate it.
I want to acknowledge the presence of his fellow commissioners over here, John Caldwell and Senator Commissioner Willie Simmons. Please welcome and make them feel welcome. Gentleman from Lauderdale, Mr. Young, what purpose you seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, it looks like I'm a little late now. We had a third member of the MDOT family here, Mr. Brad White, but it looks as though he's departed. Thank you.
Yeah, he did disappeared. Gentleman from Harrison, Mr. Hullum.
Introduction out of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
In this North Gallery, we have Dr. Mary Graham, the president of the Gulf Coast Community College, with us.
Gentleman from Bolivar, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but, you know, our commissioner here, he lives in my district as well, so I just wanted to make sure that when I got back to Bolivar County, you know, it didn't go unrecognized.
There you go.
So I just want all of us to know it's a pleasure to have my very own commissioner here with us today. Thank you.
Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Stamps.
Introduction out of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the House, will you join me in recognizing in the South Gallery Dr. Shawana Coleman, Ms. Carla Edwards, and Ms. Shalonda Spencer. They're here with Impact, a great program that's expanding across the state to bring tutoring programs throughout our schools in Mississippi. Thank you very much.
Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Darnell.
Introduction, please.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, in the House, I'd like us to welcome Dr. Michael Handel, President of Northwest Community College in Senatobia.
Gentleman from Warren, Mr. Denton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction out of order.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of myself and Representative Ford, Representative Harness, Representative Foster, the doctor of the day, we'd like to welcome him, Dr. Randy Easterland.
Thank you, Doc. We appreciate your service today. Lady from Hines, Mrs. Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction out of order. I would like to recognize a good friend of mine, Chastity Page, if she would stand. She's the Capital UniServe Director for MAE.
Gentleman from Benton, Mr. Massingill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Everyone in here, I want you all to help me wish Manley Barton a happy 74th birthday.
I don't think he understood that. Age. We wished you a happy birthday there, gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right. So I don't see any further introductions at this time. We will go to the calendar. I see the in-conference calendars. Would remind the chairman, if you have a bill in conference, please get me your conferees. We need to get those on the calendar. It brings us to the concurrence, non-concurrence calendar. Any chairman have an item? Jim Alcorn, Mr. Bain.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 4, I would move to concur. I guess I need to do that.
If any chairman is going to concur, that's tantamount to final passage. So on final passage, you need to come to the well. If you wish to invite conference, you can do that from your desk. But a motion to concur is tantamount to final passage. So you got to come to the well to do that. Jim Alcorn.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 4, this is the only difference that the Senate made. What this does is allow for law enforcement officers who were killed in the line of duty for their beneficiaries to receive their sidearm. The only difference is, if you'll remember, the lady from Lincoln named this after 2 fallen officers. I was going to go ahead and concur on it. We've got the other one that also names it going to the Senate. So I just want to go ahead and move this one along. That's an explanation of it, Mr. Speaker.
Any questions? Yeah, I've got a number of chairmen who've punched a button here. So if you got a question, you need to stand up or raise your hand. I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur House Bill 281. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Close machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 115 yeas, 0 nays, the motion passes. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, may I move through my calendar?
Yeah, we can jump around.
Okay. All right, the next one is item 29. I would move to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Item 35, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Item 37, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
38, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
And item number 40,
What you want to do?
invite conference, I'm sorry.
Okay. Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Item number 46, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Item number 48, invite conference. Health. Y'all will remember last week, the gentleman from Washington asked me questions regarding mental health and officers responding to mental health. This is the bill, in my view, one of the most transformative things that we've done this session. It requires every law enforcement agency in the state to have mental health training. Your counties, your municipalities are to be trained in mental health services by, well, they got 8 years to do that. Also, every county is supposed to have a crisis intervention agent working for them by 2025. It also allows for a fund to be set up for more beds and more people to be housed for mental health purposes. In my view, like I said, it's one of the most important bills that we've done this session, and that's an explanation. I'd move to concur.
Questions? Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Criswell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
Now, at one time, this bill had like a 25% tax on vaping. That was taken out. It's still gone, correct?
That's gone. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk, by a vote of 114 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to concur
And
passes.
one more, Mr. Speaker, item number 65, I would invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Gentleman from Walthall, Chairman of Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 13, House Bill 256, and concur. This is a boll weevil management program, and it just deletes the repealer off from it. Move to concur, sir.
Questions?
That's the explanation of the bill.
Any questions? Raise your hand. I don't see any. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Excuse me. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Close machine, Madam Clerk, by a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to concur passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item 17, House Bill 484, and move to concur.
Okay.
This is the Petroleum Products Inspection Law. We deleted a repealer on it, and the Senate added some clarification language for Southern Rail Commission that was killed in a different bill from the House. That's the explanation, sir. Move to concur.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on House Bill, motion to concur, House Bill 484. You favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 110 yeas, 6 nays, bill passes. Anything further?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 36, House Bill 280. Move to concur.
Okay.
This is a foreign government study committee that the House did, and all the Senate done was remove the reverse repealer. So that's move to concur, sir.
Question? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur House Bill 280. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 115 yeas and 2 nays, the motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last item is item 61, House Bill 363, and move to concur this.
Okay.
This is a Mississippi Department of Agriculture and Commerce technical amendment bill, and all the Senate done was clarified a couple of sections of language, is all it did, so I will move to concur.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur House Bill 363. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 118 yeas, 0 nays, the motion passes. Jim from Pike.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 14, House Bill 259, and make a motion to concur.
Okay.
This is the medical radiation technology repealer. The Senate, by mistakenly, did not bring up a House Bill 478, which was the occupational therapy license compact, just by mistake. We passed it 117-0, so they added into this piece of legislation. So that is the explanation, Mr. Speaker.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur House Bill 259. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 116 yeas, 0 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 15, House Bill 273, and invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 18, House Bill 584, and make a motion to concur.
Okay.
This, ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is the FQHCs. As you remember, we passed an appropriation bill that changed that language with no less than $4 million. We have appropriations in Department of Health for $8 million. So we did need to change the language that said in excess of 10%. That means if we do give them more than $4 million in the appropriation, they can take more than the $200,000 that's in current law. So this is very positive for the FQHCs, and that is the explanation of the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on a motion to concur House Bill 584. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 112 yeas and 5 nays, motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 43, House Bill 557, and motion is to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Mr. Appropriations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, let's go to page 4. Item number 20, House Bill 834. I'd like to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Next item.
Go to item number 27, House Bill 1613. Do not concur, but invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Next will be item 42, House Bill 540. We want to concur.
Okay, you're recognized.
And this bill was the one that set up DFA to as another layer for 4 agencies on contracts, and also procurement of over 75,000. And the Senate concurred, so agreed. So we'd like to go ahead and concur.
Any questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur. House Bill 540. In favor of the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 116 yeas, 0 nays, the motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's go to page 7, item number 70, House Bill 271. We'd like to invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion passes.
Okay, next item would be number 71, House Bill 272. Again, invite conference.
Let me ask this, gentlemen. You going to invite conference on every one of these?
I was going to, the next few is going to be a big block, and I was going to ask for the next, I was going to call them out and ask to be, go to conference and a block vote, sir.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You going to invite conference on all the rest of them?
Yes, sir. Do you want me to call them out?
No, sir.
Okay.
Looks like it's items 71 through...
Item 72, skip 72, Mr. Speaker.
You don't want to do 72?
No.
Oh, that's not your bill, is it? I'm sorry. I was looking at that wrongly.
Okay, hold on a second.
All
Okay.
right, we'll do item number 71. 71 is invite conference.
Yes, that'd be.
Just to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, next.
Motion passes. Next, you're going to 73 all the way.
73.
129.
No, 124. I'd like to do that block.
73 to 124.
124. That's
Is there
from.
any objection to taking all those items up in a block? Ms. Jump from Adams.
I'm trying to go through this. Where is the education budget? Is it in that group? If it is, I want to separate it out.
We've already invited conference on it.
Okay, thank you.
Any objection to taking items 73 through 124 up in a block? All right, I don't see any.
Okay, next.
Motion is to invite conference on all of those, correct?
Yes, sir.
If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All those items will go to conference.
Next, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to do not concur but invite conference on bills 120, item number 126, House Bill 717 through House item number 129, House Bill 722.
So items 126 through 129,
Yes.
taken up in a block. Motion is to invite conference. Anyone object to taking these up in a block? I don't see any. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes. On the last one is 125, gentlemen.
Okay, we're going to pass item 125. Then I want to skip down and take item 126 through one. Well, we already took 126 through one.
Right.
Okay.
The only one you got left is 125.
Well, no, we're going to hold that one, Mr. Speaker, please.
It's going to be bumped to the bottom of the calendar.
Well, that's what I've been instructed. Okay, sir. And I listen sometime, Mr. Speaker.
You done?
Yeah, the appropriation yields the floor.
All right. We'll go to the next. Gentleman from Warren, Mr. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Go to item number 32 and invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Lady from Amite, Ms. Cockerham.
Mr. Speaker, Judiciary A has 9 bills that we'd like to invite conference on. May I do them in the block, or would you want to do them separately?
I'm fine with doing it in block. Is there any objection to taking all Judiciary A bills up in a block? Motion will be to invite conference.
So moved.
So moved. All right. That looks to me like, lady, why don't you identify them for us so I don't miss one?
I will, Mr. Speaker. Item number 5, House Bill 1111. Item number 10, House Bill 685.
Hang on. I see number 7. What about that one?
No, Mr. Speaker.
You're just going to skip it?
I'm going to skip.
Okay.
Item number 10, House Bill 685. Item 39, House Bill 510. Item number 49, House Bill 985. Item 55, House Bill 1149. Item 58, House Bill 1342. Item 66, House Bill 485. Item 68, House Bill 1318. And the last one is item 72, House Bill 1216.
All right, motion is to invite conference. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion to invite conference passes. All right. Jumping to Shoba, Mr. Bounds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 64, House Bill 698, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Lady from Lincoln, Ms. Curry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have 2 if you'd like to take them up in a block to invite conference.
Any objection? Hearing none, we'll do that. Which ones are they, lady?
Item 45, House Bill 704, and item 62, House Bill 419, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Jump from Tunica, Mr. Burnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Have an introduction.
Yes, sir.
I would like to introduce to the House the boss of Tunica County. His name is McKinley Daly. He's the president of the Board of Supervisors, and he's been serving now for about 12 years. I'd like to make him feel at home.
Jump from Rankin, Mr. Weathersby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to the public property bills and take them up in a group, please.
Okay.
That'd be item number 16, House Bill 366. Item number 24, House Bill 1286. Item number 30, House Bill 769. Item number 31, House Bill 923. And item 52, House Bill 1048. And not concur, but invite conference.
All right, gentlemen, anyone wish to have one of those bills set aside? All right, I don't see any. Motion is to invite conference. If you favor the motion, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Jump Mitawamba, Mr. Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item 63, House Bill 588, I'd like to invite conference.
Item 63. Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Jump from Lamar, Mr. McCarty. Oh, I'm sorry. You had others, gentlemen?
Mr. Speaker, introduction.
Okay, you're recognized.
I'd like to introduce my daughter, Abby, and her friend, Andrew, at the back of the Capitol. Thank you.
All right, jump from Lamar, Mr. McCarty.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'd like to go to item 47, House Bill 817, and invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Jump to Shamingo, Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have three items. Can we do it in a block?
Yes, sir. Tell us which ones they are.
Item number 44, House Bill 677. Item number 50, House Bill 1029. Item number 51, House Bill 1039. Invite conference.
Anyone wish to have one of those set aside? All right, motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Jim from Simpson, Mr. Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to item number 60, House Bill 1310, invite conference.
Motion is to invite conference. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Jump Mitawamba, Mr. Boyd. Yes, sir.
On item 41, House Bill 538, I'd like to concur. They've done very little. They haven't done any change into the language of the bill. They did add a code section that would make it concur with the another bill that we had and passed, but it's not made any changes. It's just kind of one of those things they have to do.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur, House Bill 538. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. A vote 110 yeas, 5 nays. The motion passes. Gentleman from Rankin, Mr. Yancey.
I'd like to go to item 12, House Bill number 249, and move to concur, and I'll come to the well.
Hey, won't you go to the well?
So move to concur on item number 12, House Bill 249.
You wish to explain?
Yes, sir. This is the cannabis repealer bill. This was the bill that simply extended 2 repealers, and what they added was something to do with cloud computing that doesn't do anything to the bill. So I move we concur.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur, House Bill 249. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. As everyone voted, close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 116 yeas, 2 nays, the motion passes. Next item.
I'd ask that we skip to item number 21, House Bill number 1071, and I move to concur. I'd like to be recognized to explain.
You recognize to explain.
Yes, sir. This is the Uniform Controlled Substance Act, and they made very little changes in the Senate. Our bill had 16 drugs listed, but 3 of them were listed in error, so there really are only 13 drugs that are being changed, and that was an error that was caught by, I think, the Health Department. So those are the only changes. So it's the same as it left here, except for those 3 drugs. So I move to concur.
Questions? I don't see any. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur, House Bill 1071. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. As everyone voted. Close the machine, Madam Clerk. About 109 yeas, 2 nays. Motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've asked that we skip down to item number 67, House Bill 1158. I'd like to be recognized to concur.
Okay.
This is the Mississippi Medical Cannabis Act, and as it left here, the Senate made 10 changes to it. I was part of most of those changes, so nothing caught me by surprise. I'd like to explain them to you at this time. The first change is that if a qualifying patient makes a follow-up visit, they can see a different practitioner than they originally saw the first time. In the case of when they change location, they move, they don't have to go back to a certain city to see a certain doctor, as long as they are registered with the Department of Health and they're acting within their scope of practice. That's the first change. Then the second change is that a testing facility can have a relationship with a transportation entity or have their own transportation license in order to transport the cannabis back and forth as it's being tested. The next change was just something that any cannabis that contains less than 0.3% that was addressed by the 2018 Farm Bill shall be exempt from regulations applicable to medical cannabis establishments. That was part of the Hemp Act of 2018. Going as fast as I can here. We're allowing them to display a cannabis leaf in their company logos and other branding activity, not in advertising, just simply in their logo. And they can display pictures on their dispensary websites of products that they sell, only on their website. So you'd be going there looking for that if you saw that. The next change deals with ongoing investigations by the Department of Health. We're basically saying that they are exempt, they're considered confidential and exempt from disclosure under the Mississippi Public Records Act of 1983. This is so they can conduct an ongoing investigation. Once there's a final disposition, then they would have to release that material. That was requested by the Department of Health. We are in line 1097. The addresses of prospective and licensed medical cannabis establishments, except for dispensaries, are considered confidential. We didn't want people from other states to be able to look on the Department of Health and Revenue websites and go and rob all of the grow and processing sites. So the dispensaries, the only ones open to the public, are the only ones that have to be publicly listed on the website. So just trying to add an extra layer of security there. Next, close to the end here, they added something about cloud computing in this bill. Happened to be the code section. Cloud computing. Some definitions about artificially derived cannabinoids. Nothing that changes. Cannabis waste, plant debris that comes off the cannabis, as long as it doesn't have less than what was allowed in the 2018 Farm Bill, they don't have to use a disposal service. Two more. Added a new section that deals with basically Pearl River Valley Water Supply District, basically saying that they fall under whatever the city or county does in the area where they're located. And those are all the changes. Happy to yield for questions. If there are none, I move to concur.
I recognize the lady from Madison, Ms. Ford, for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
Sure.
Did you add insomnia and anxiety? Were
No.
these added?
I did not.
Okay, thank you.
The lady from Pearl River, Ms. Wilkes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So on the advertising portion of it, someone just told me that this weekend they went and bought something somewhere totally not related, and that they're sticking things on to packages that they're buying or in their bags that tell them to check about getting their medical marijuana card. Are we doing that?
Well, if they're already buying it, then they already have a card. So
No, but they're soliciting for new business with whatever. You go to a random store to purchase something,
like what kind of random store?
just like a boutique or anywhere else like that.
No,
and there's
they're not allowed to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I don't see any further questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur. House Bill 1158. If you favor the motion, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 109 yeas, 6 nays, motion passes. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Finally, go to item 69, House Bill 4, and I move to concur and ask to be recognized to explain the bill.
Yes.
This is the bill dealing with the scheduling of tianeptine. This is the red Zaza that's sold in the convenience stores across our state that's causing so many problems. And What the Senate did was they changed it from Schedule 1 down to Schedule 3. That would make it a misdemeanor for simple possession of less than 100 pills. So it would be, the maximum would be 1 year in prison or $1,000 fine or less for simple possession. Any other charges against them, trafficking or possession with intent to transfer, that would continue to be a felony. So that's an explanation of the bill. Happy to yield for questions.
Any questions? Gentleman Jones, Mr. Scoggin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, do you yield?
I do.
Did we do anything with Kratom, or where is Kratom at in relation to any of this?
So the Kratom language was in Judd B and was also in the Senate, and so nothing's been done with Kratom.
So Kratom will continue to be sold to minors over the counter in gas stations?
Kratom is still out there, waiting for something to happen.
Thank you, sir.
There's not the political will to get rid of Kratom at this point.
Gentleman from Hines, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir, I yield.
Thank you so much. Has any medical authority identified the adverse effect of this particular product? I didn't hear any medical authorities mentioned in your presentation.
I've got a letter from the Mississippi State Medical Association saying they are in support of, the Mississippi State Medical Association is in favor of scheduling this drug as Schedule 3. I also have a letter from the Mississippi Petroleum Markers and Convenience Stores Association. They're in favor of scheduling this and getting it off the shelves.
What's the penalty again?
Simple possession is a misdemeanor. Less than 100 pills, misdemeanor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Eubanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will gentlemen yield?
Sure.
Gentlemen, how is our increased penalties stack up against sort of the national, in other states? Are we like ahead of the curve on this, or is this something that?
It's a patchwork quilt, and we've had a number of cities and counties in the state of Mississippi who have already banned Tindeptine. Some of them have banned Kratom. You have these drugs that are being sold in convenience stores, and different jurisdictions are deciding how to deal with the problem. We have, letters from family members begging us to get it off the shelves. So we have letters here in Mississippi, as I said, from the State Medical Association and from those who own the Convenience Store Association. So.
Okay, so I was just curious how this would change us relative to the rest of the
Some
country.
have banned it, some have not. The FDA has not approved it. There is no medical use for it in the United States of America, yet it's still being sold in most convenience stores in our state.
But the federal government hasn't done anything or ruled on this.
The federal government has not done anything to this point.
All right, thank you.
I don't see any further questions. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. Question occurs on the motion to concur, House Bill 4. If you favor the bill, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By a vote of 108 yeas, 7 nays, the bill passes.
Drug policy yields the floor.
Drug policy yields. Do any of the chairmen have an item on a concurrence, non-concurrence calendar they wish to take up? All right, I don't see anyone. Brings us down to the motion to reconsider calendar. Chairman of Rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to item number 1, HR number 12, I have an amendment.
All right, so you want to bring you back up for a vote then, right?
Yes, sir.
Motion is to reconsider the vote by which H.R. 12 passed. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Resolution is back before the House. You recognize for an amendment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing more than clarification of some information that was in a resolution that we passed. That's all the information to change after we had voted on it, but that's all this does. That's my explanation.
Okay, question? I don't see any. If you favor the resolution, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolution passes. All right, next item. Oh, that was the amendment. I'm sorry. Now the resolution. If you favor the resolution, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now the resolution is passed. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, that's all that's on the motion to reconsider, but I do have several things on the rules calendar.
Yes, sir. We'll go to the rules calendar.
If there are no objections, I would like to call up item number 2, HCR number 40, and go to item number 9, HCR number 41, number 10, HCR number 43, and number 11, HCR number 44, and call them up in a block.
You wish to call up all the HCRs in a block?
Yes, sir.
That's item 2. What about item 1?
I'm leaving that one there.
Did we not already do that one the other day?
Yes, sir. I think that was a double, it was done already.
Number 1 has already been done. Is that right?
No, sir, not exactly. But I'm going to number 2, and number 1 probably can be returned back to the committee in which it came.
We'll come back to that one. 2, 9, 10, 11. That's all of them. Anyone wish to have one of those 4 set aside? 2, 9, 10, 11. I don't see anyone. We will take those up in a block. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk, by a vote of 117 yeas, 0 nays. The resolution's passed. Let's go back to item 1. Tell me what the deal is with that.
Yes, sir. Can we return number 1, HCR number 30 from the committee in which it came?
Motions to recommit. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Next item.
Mr. Speaker, if we could go to item number 3, HR number 106, and we're going to take all of the HRs up in a block if there are no objections.
And, we'll take up all the HRs in a block. Anyone have a question about any of these resolutions? Don't hear any. If you favor the resolutions, indicate by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Resolutions are adopted. Next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If we could go to item number 17, this is the start of the SCRs, and take those up in a block. That would be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23.
Anyone wish to have one of these items set aside? All right. I don't see any. If you favor, any questions on these resolutions? I don't see any. Madam Clerk has to get them programmed into the computer. Just a second. Incidentally, I will point out item 18, while we wait on Madam Clerk, item 18, Ricky Steenhouse from Olive Branch won the Daytona 500. I don't know how many of you watched that race, but it's fairly exciting. We had him up here a year or 2 ago and honored him, and that's a pretty big deal right there.
Don't do it. I've gotten so fat I can't button the top button on my tie, so I unravel.
All right, here we go. Open the machine, Madam Clerk. If you favor the resolutions, vote aye. If you're opposed, vote nay. Has everyone voted? Close the machine, Madam Clerk. By vote 118 yeas, 0 nays, the resolutions are adopted. Anything further, gentlemen?
Immediate release.
Any objection to immediate release? I don't hear any. We will do that. Thank you, sir. All right. I think we have completed our work. Any other chairman have an item they need to bring up today? All right. Announcements, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We'll have page pictures immediately after adjournment as long as the camera will hold out.
Madam Clerk. Announcements by the members. Jump from Pearl River, Mr. Owen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unanimous consent to change my vote on House Bill 4 from no to yes.
Any objection? Change the gentleman's vote. Jump from Rankin, Mr. Weathersby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On item 4, House Bill number 281, I'd like to change my vote from present to yes.
Any objection? Change your vote. Gentleman from DeSoto, Mr. Criswell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to go to yesterday's calendar, supplemental Ways and Means, item number 2, Senate Bill 2858, and hold that bill on a motion.
Okay, we can do that.
I would also like to, on today's calendar, concurrence, non-concurrence, item number 69, House Bill 4, hold that on a motion.
Okay, we can do that. Lady from Madison, Ms. Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I must have been smoking pot because I accidentally voted yes for a marijuana bill, and I would like to ask you to let me change my vote from a yes to a no on item number 12. Item number 12, number 249.
Ooh, goodness gracious. Vehement objection, lady. All right, change the lady's vote. So noted, gentlemen, so noted. All right, gentleman from Perry, Mr. Gooden.
Yes, sir. I need to change 2 votes, sir. House Bill 281 to a yes. And also House Bill number 912, change my vote to yes there too.
Any objection? Change your vote. Any further announcements? I don't see any. Jump from Walthall, Mr. Paget.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to remind everybody of Wednesday that the catfish farmers will be at First Baptist Church for lunch, 11:30.
Jim from Lawrence, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Speaker. I would like to ask your cooperation in the House in advancing a silver alert.
Oh, yeah.
My desk mate's not accounted for today. His cubicle has been cleaned out virtually. That's never happened in probably 44 years. And certainly something that he's never done knowingly. Certainly indicates to me that something's amiss, and I would just, if y'all see my desk mate anywhere and he's got a U-Haul or something full of stuff, check on him, please.
Hey, his wife was here.
Thank you, sir. All right, I don't see any further announcements. Gentleman from Oktibbeha. Where'd he go? Gentleman from Choctaw, Mr. Hood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House day adjourned to 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Motion is to adjourn to 10 a.m. All in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. House adjourned till 10 a.m.